Iceland sits precariously on top of two actively moving tectonic plates, making its natural landscape one of the most dramatic in the world. On one of Iceland's black beaches sits an aviation landmark that has been on my radar for the past 5 years. Known as the Sólheimasandur Plane Wreckage, the remains of a US Navy transport plane that made an emergency landing in 1973. But how did this American military plane end up in Iceland? And what are the true facts about its story? Today our team will travel 2,000 miles to find out. But upon arrival at Grindavík airport, we received breaking news of new volcanic activity.
Hundreds of people have been evacuated from their homes in southwest Iceland.
Iceland, where people fear a volcanic eruption which could come any day or any moment.
An eruption was imminent. Coming from Amsterdam, this all felt a bit surreal. So rather than going directly to the crash site, we decided to investigate this new threat to commercial aviation. Our crew climbed into rental cars and headed to Grindavík, the site of the active volcano. An airport representative told us that the roads are blocked, but we're going to try to get in anyways.
What we are seeing now really is an unprecedented event.
I'm very curious what we're going to find.
We are really talking about volumes or inflow rates that are much higher than what we have been seeing.
On arrival, we discovered that massive cracks had appeared in the town's road. And the whole town is now evacuated?
Yeah. From 4 o'clock now.
So the town is completely closed off?
Yeah.
Okay. Then the officials tell us to leave immediately.
To send you back.
Okay, we cannot go?
No.
Oh, okay. Uncertain how the eruption might affect us, we chose to stick with our original plan and head to Vik to explore the aircraft we had flown here to see. Our picturesque cottage in the shadow of the Katla volcano. Its last major eruption was over 100 years ago during World War I, so I liked our odds. Lava aside, nothing in Iceland is more dangerous than the weather. And it changes fast. We checked the forecast before gearing up for our 2.5-mile hike. It was only 3 years ago that 2 tourists died on this same track because of extreme weather. While traversing the rugged volcanic fields, I thought about how a US Navy plane found its way into rural Iceland. In 1973, the plane was flying over Sólheimasandur when a winter storm suddenly moved in. Its carburetor began to suck in ice. Soon, its frozen engines stopped spinning. Wrapped in heavy fog, the aircraft started to fall. Fearing he would hit a mountain, the pilot, with 6 on board, spotted a shoreline and used the frozen black beach as a very bumpy runway. Everyone survived. Given that the crash occurred at the height of the Cold War, the US military immediately dispatched a salvage team to examine the wreckage. Soon all there was left was a skeletal shell. Then the Americans simply drove away. These eerie-looking metal remains are now a magnet for publicity-seeking tourists. It's featured in Bollywood movies, and Justin Bieber has even skateboarded over it in a music video. Is this what the future looks like for our aviation icons? It's not just nature that can be cruel. Not everyone understands the aircraft they ultimately use. Most people think the aircraft in Iceland is a DC-3. Instead, it's actually a C-117D, an extended-range transport plane with longer wings and modified engine nacelles. Some will tell you it crashed because it ran out of gas, but in fact, both engines froze solid. Multiple websites give the crash date as 3 days after it took place. The conditions are extremely bad. It's rainy, it's windy. It's nature perhaps trying to keep people away.
Thousands and thousands of tourists come here every year. They stand on top of the aircraft, they go inside it. There's literally very little respect. But let's go and look inside.
Some have left their mark, indelibly.
Often, tourists have also taken pieces of the fuselage and pieces of the aircraft as souvenirs.
The admirers ruining what they've admired.
So you're the chauffeur of the plane wreck bus. How many tourists do you ferry up and down every day?
Between 150 and 200 now in November. But I guess it's gonna get much busier in the summer.
And what do most people do when they get to the aircraft?
Take pictures, go at the beach.
Right.
That's about it. Nothing else to see there. It's literally in the middle of nowhere.
And what do you think about the graffiti on the plane and people putting stickers?
I like the stickers
Okay.
because I can see where people come from. But the graffiti, I'm waiting for them to be sandblasted.
Are they planning to do that?
No, but the wind does its job. The plane was white before, so it got sandblasted back to bare metal.
The wind as a natural graffiti remover. The high tourism numbers here are a recent phenomenon.
8 years ago I pitched my tent inside it. I camped inside of it.
No way.
But
There
now
were
you
no
can't
people
do
at
it.
all?
No, because of Justin Bieber, right? I recommend don't be Justin Bieber if you're going here.
Right.
Don't climb on top of it, because if you break your leg there, I'm not gonna drive you back.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. There were also, I heard, 2 people who died
Yeah.
a couple of years ago.
Winter walk, no equipment.
What would you advise tourists to do when they come to the plane?
Dress well.
Dress well?
Yeah. There's a saying in Iceland. There's no bad weather, but bad clothing.
My grandmother used to say that to me.
Okay, you see?
So you are on your way to the plane. You haven't seen it yet. What do you expect to find over there?
I hope less people. I hope feeling like in a desert with just a plane.
Are you going to walk or are you taking the bus?
No, by walk. And, I hope we'll take a lot of beautiful pictures with the lights, because a site is very known for the lights.
So you just came back. There was a lot of graffiti and like stickers on the aircraft. What did you think about that?
I think it's fine because I love street art, so
Okay.
for me it's nice.
The erosion of cultural landmarks by tourists is a problem as old as travel itself. Some here argue for limiting visitor numbers, while others say relocating the plane to a museum is the best way to preserve it. Balancing public access with preservation is a challenge faced by governments worldwide. But in Iceland, where the forces of nature are strong enough to bring down a plane, those same forces might ultimately determine the fate of this hauntingly appealing icon.